And hi everyone, I'm Jason Newton. Welcome to 11 TV Hill. Baltimore is about to have a new city council president. Zeke Cohen steps into that role after years serving the city's first district. And earlier this week, I spoke to Cohen about some of his legislative priorities. Mr. Cohen, good to see you.
Great to see you, Jason.
This is an exciting time.
Yes, sir.
What went into the decision to run for city council president? I mean, listen, you can handle problems from the other side of that big old desk, but you decided to go on the other side of it.
Well, listen, I think that Baltimore is in this moment where it's do or die for our city, and it is time for us to step up and have that great American comeback that we all know is possible here for Baltimore. I'm really proud of the work that we were able to do in Southeast Baltimore, grew our district's population by about 5,700 people, rebuilt 4 brand new, beautiful 21st century schools, saw big investments in Patterson Park and Dipsky Park, saw a lot of private industry and growth in our small business community. But I think there are too many parts of our city that have still been left behind. When I think about areas in West Baltimore, like where I used to teach, where we continue to see systemic disinvestment, it is unfair and it is unacceptable for any neighborhood in our city to feel like government is not looking out for them. Whether you live in Park Heights or Roland Park, you deserve great city services, and that is what I intend to deliver.
Tell me about Brooklyn. What do they do different this year? We're celebrating, or taping this now on Tuesday as they celebrate a year without homicides. What do they do different, or have they done differently that could be used in other places, do you think?
Yeah, look, I think there's been a lot of work within the community on healing from some of the trauma that occurred. I think that, folks are just tired of seeing the violence in our city. We're seeing significant drops, not just in Brooklyn, but across Baltimore, to the point where we can measurably say that over the last year and a half, we have seen a dramatic decline in homicides and in non-fatal shootings. And I think a lot of that is about the community stepping up. I also think that Mayor Scott, Monsi deserve credit, State's Attorney Ivan Bates, Governor Wes Moore, Eric Barron. It feels like there is a team that is together right now that is really doing the work of collaboration, of working across the sectors, not allowing silos to get in our way. And so I think we're seeing some pretty precipitous declines in the very violent crime that we were seeing. And that's something I'm extremely proud of and something that I want to build off of, because we continue to have too much property crime. We continue to have challenges with some of our young people who are continuously getting in trouble and staying caught up in the juvenile justice system. So we have a long way to go, Jason, but it is worth noting that in places like Brooklyn, we've seen a real decline, and I think the community mostly deserves the credit for it.
Yeah, you touched on that a little bit, the youth crime aspect. Yes, the crime numbers coming down, but so are the ages of some of the perpetrators of some of the crimes. What are we missing? Who needs to be in the fold now so that we don't tell stories of 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds continuously now?
Yeah, and look, I'm just going to speak as a father and as a former Baltimore City public school teacher, which is to say that all of our young people deserve an excellent education, and they deserve to be held fully accountable. We know that kids thrive when they have an environment that has high expectations for them. And when I hear stories and see with my own eyes young people committing very violent, heinous crimes and then being released a couple hours later back to their parents, that is entirely unacceptable. It sends the wrong message to the victims of violence, sends the wrong message to our communities, and it sends the wrong message to those perpetrators, because they're being told that your actions are okay. The same way that I need to be tough, loving, but tough with my own kids, that is what we need for every child in Baltimore. We need to start acting like these are our children. We are their village, and we need to start holding them accountable and providing the love and services and support so that they can thrive. And I will say that as a former teacher, as a dad who is sending my children to Baltimore City Public Schools, as the next city council president, I am going to hold our school system accountable for better outcomes. I am truly grateful for the 8, almost 9 now years of service that Dr. Sonia Santelices has put in. And in some ways, she has really moved the city and the system. However, I want to make sure that excellence does not just exist in islands or in pockets, but that every school in our city, every child in our city is being given a great education. And so you're going to see a lot more oversight on the city council of city schools, as well as our other agencies. I also think we need to start earlier. I want to see universal pre-kindergarten starting at age 3. We know that children's brains do the most cognitive growth 0 through 5. And then on the other end of the spectrum, Jason, it is no longer acceptable to graduate our children into a life of poverty. We need to make sure every single child in this city has either a career or a college plan when they graduate. And that could be an apprenticeship with the building trades. That could be working at one of our great meds or eds. That could be going to college. But we cannot continue to allow our children to flounder. We know that artificial intelligence is here. The robots are here. We need to be competitive. Baltimore is having a moment, and we need our young people to win.
You were talking, we spoke earlier this week, and we mentioned DPW. You said what's happening there is unacceptable. Now, you were realistic when you mentioned the director came in and sort of walked into the situation. They'll get a top-to-bottom look, it sounds like, from you.
Yeah, look, I am grateful to Director Khalil Zaid, who has come into a dysfunctional agency. There's no prettier way to say it. I mean, we have seen 2 workers die in the last 3 or 4 months. We've seen just a culture within sanitation that is completely out of control, that is cruel. We've had real challenges at our wastewater treatment facilities. It took us a really long time to get recycling back up online. And that type of inaction, dysfunction is unacceptable. And look, the city council has a real role in providing effective oversight to make sure that our agencies deliver great city services. Look, in Baltimore, we pay almost double the property taxes as our friends in Baltimore County, and we are not getting double the city services. That is a concern for me as someone who pays taxes and lives here and is contributing to my city. I want to make sure our residents get the very best out of DPW, the Department of Transportation, housing, all of our agencies. And so you can expect a higher level of oversight when it comes to city agencies, because I'm going to expect better outcomes for my residents.
Sure. Before we're done, one thing I do want to talk about, a victory the city recently had as of this taping. We've had drug companies settle. We've had 2, though, that went to trial. And just hearing today, again, this is Tuesday, this is a victory for the city, $260 million.
Yeah, look, it's a huge deal. And I am so grateful to our city solicitor, Ebony Thompson, who has been just winning these lawsuits left and right. This was the first one that actually went to trial. And I'm so proud of the work that she has done to bring this money home. Look, Baltimore was ground zero and continues to be for the opioid crisis. We know that these pharmaceutical companies contributed to that crisis by the pill mills, the oxycodone, the overprescribing of pills that some doctors did, and then just allowing pills to flood our streets. We now know that too many people became addicted to heroin and then fentanyl. We know that it has ravaged families throughout our city. And so finally, we have resources to be able to address the long-term harms that this crisis has caused. And again, I'm proud of Mayor Scott, of Ebony, and really of the many people who were impacted, family members who lost loved ones to this crisis, who stood in the void, who said it is unacceptable, and we are going to demand more from these pharmaceutical companies. Look, that is what Baltimore does. When we get knocked down, we pull each other back up. And that's the moment that we're in, and I'm just looking forward to being part of it.
All right, City Council President-elect Zeke Cohen, good to see you, man. Congratulations to you.
Great to see you.
Certainly.